you haven't figured it out yet, it's summertime. Relentless heat and the gallons of lost sweat is proof of that. I figure it's time to build a summertime project. Who doesn't enjoy laying around in a hammock, gently swaying back and forth, forgetting about everything else in the world, even for just a few moments? A hammock stand is a project that I've wanted to build for quite some time. And over the last couple of years, I've come up with a handful of different design ideas, but none of them really thrilled me. When looking for inspiration on the internet, I found a lot of other designs for hammock stands made out of wood either have a large dramatic curve, which that looks good, but it's been done before, or other ones are basically a handful of 2x4s screwed together, bolted together, with a couple of 2x4s that point out and up to hold up the hammock. I obviously wanted to design a piece that was different from most of the hammock stands I'd seen, but I also wanted to maintain a high level of craftsmanship. I very easily could have found ways to screw it together, bolt it together, and make it a little more mobile, but in the end, I felt mortise and tenon joinery just adds a certain amount of craftsmanship, as well as just being an extremely strong joint. Well, this piece is going to be sealed and protected since this is an outdoor piece, but I do wonder, and maybe someone out there can tell me, if the wood does want to swell because of moisture, if that mortise and tenon joint won't grow tighter and even stronger. The design that I came up with that intrigued me the most consists of two heavy side elements made with reclaimed 2x6s and 2x4s that are tilted out and up at a 30-degree angle. The base of this hammock stand is going to be sturdy and substantial, leaving no concern about its strength and integrity. This design offered a bit of a challenge for me with these angles. Most of the projects I build consist of 90-degree angles and an occasional 45-degree angle. For this design, I went with a 30-degree outward tilt of the sides. The small legs of the sides had to be cut with a matching 30-degree angled tenon, which was a bit easier to craft than I was expecting. The long bottom members that tie the two sides together was a bit tougher to get just right. I couldn't just set the miter saw and cut it, as these weren't going through all the way. I tried to originally cut these lap joints by hand, but this was a titanic pain in the butt, and I ended up breaking out the jigsaw. The rope weave between the empty space on the two side elements is a functional way to tie the look and the material of the hammock to the heavy wooden sides that are holding it up. The subtle curves of each of the wooden elements adds a softness to the piece to complement the understated curves that are present when a hammock is in use. In the end, what I discovered working with different angles that I'm not used to is the importance of a bevel gauge. This guy is great because the combination square that I typically use only has 90 degrees and 45. Well, this little tool allows for quick checks and quick setups of the miter gauge on the table saw, as well as the setup of the proper angle on the miter saw. Another aspect of this project that was a challenge to me was the finishing of this piece. Being an outdoor piece, it needed to have a lot of resistance to moisture as well as protection from the sun. In the past, I've used spar urethane on outdoor projects, but have been unhappy with its long-term effectiveness. So with this piece, I first used a teak oil to seal the wood, which is supposed to be a good alternative to Danish oil for these outdoor projects. Once it dried, I used a high-grade epoxy from West Epoxy systems. I simply applied a light coat of the epoxy, let it dry, and once it was hardened, I wet sanded it with an 800 grit sandpaper, and then buffed it out with a compound to take out some of the glossiness. For the rope pattern on the sides, I went with a real simple up and down, and then over and under and across pattern. If I was a more patient person and more skilled than macrame, I imagine I could have come up with a more elegant pattern and design here. So, if anyone ever decides to build something along these lines, I'd love to see how you end up doing the rope weave. At the end of the day, this hammock stand is just what the doctor ordered. It does its job of safely hanging a hammock while having a very unique look. I can only hope that Mother Nature likes it as much as I do and takes it easy on it, as I hope this thing lasts for many summers to come. Oh yeah, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, share with your friends and family, comment below, and hit that subscribe button if you want to watch more videos. And we'll see you on the next one.